Good day, horse racing enthusiasts. This is John, and today is the 10th of August. And coming to you with the picks, a couple of picks today from Saratoga. We have a good card of taking a look at the entire card. Identified about 3 races that I think are pretty interesting, may avail themselves to some wagering. And so with that, I guess what I want to do is just kick it right off. Before I do that, I think today is the halfway point of the meet. It goes by fast up at Saratoga. Looks today like the conditions are going to be a little overcast. It doesn't look like there's a huge threat of rain, but you never know up there. After coming from last week where we had a couple of just deluges, and then all of a sudden it's burning sun. You never know what you're going to expect. So you have to keep track of those races that are on the turf to the extent that, it's raining and that, what races could come off the turf at any point. So you have to be aware of that. So I think an example of where I had a problem with that was I bet a similar problem anyhow. I bet a small pick, I bet a very small pick 5, I think, to start the races on Sunday. And as most of you know, I was flying back when the races started, and it looked like maybe the first race was taken off the turf, and we had some scratches that I wasn't aware of because I was in the air. So I ended up getting the favorite, and that first race of that sequence was a long shot, so it didn't really help me too much. So at any rate, I'll move on. Race 2. Okay, so what we're looking at is a maiden race, 20,000, 7 furlongs, 1 turn. On the main track. These aren't the best horses of all time, but I feel like there's a little bit of value here. If we take a look at the 5, and yeah, I know it's 5-1, but still, Drink the Wind is the name of the horse. Ran once at Saratoga to no avail. He's came in third at this distance in his history. Came in third for one time tried. His last time out, didn't really run, but it was in the slop at Saratoga. So what does that tell us? Well, if it's rainy, you don't want to be on this horse. It looks like it's tired him out pretty good. Rosario was the jockey. T-Gaff is going on him today. The trainer is Wayne Catalano. Good training percentages, so it's another reason why I would want to sort of take a strong look at this horse. More than ready, sire. Strong Thomason figures for this. And so I think what you're going to find here is this is the only speed of the race, in my opinion. So I feel like other horses who are in the race, to the extent they do have sort of what I call gate speed or early pace, I think they're going to end up sort of collapsing. That tends to be the tendency here. And to be honest with you, 5 is the largest drop in class in the race. Looks like the same tendency to sort of fade, with that speed. But I think his drop in class is going to outweigh that fade in speed. And he's got a bullet work on June 5th, at 59. He's worked a couple of times, with good success at Saratoga. So my pick will be to go along with that 1-for-1 Drink the Wind. Now, with that, I just want to point out one other thing in this race, and that is the number 6, Poppy on Ice. 20-1 morning line, reasonable Thomason figures. What's attracted me to this horse is, I know you're all saying you're crazy. Two things, actually. So the sire is Keen Ice. All right, well, that should ring a bunch of bells for some of the enthusiasts out there. Keen Ice beat American Pharaoh coming from behind at Saratoga, right? He's, so that the horse's pedigree has a good chance of taking to the track. Also, the running style. I mentioned just previously, we have a bunch of horses in here that look like they have speed and gonna fade. This is the only horse in the whole race that looks like he closes to any extent. So, he's 3-year-old, April colt. I wouldn't put a lot of money on this as from a long shot perspective, but I think this horse has a bit of an outside shot. His highest speed figure on this is 51, but I sense that he hasn't figured it out completely, and when he does, he's gonna revert to his style, which is come from behind. There's a lot of pace in this race. This could be the day. So I'm saying the 1 has the best chance to win, but if you want to do a little long shot pick, try the 6, Poppy on Ice, Keen Ice full. Next race I want to cover is the 5th race at Saratoga. Good race. Claiming race, 35,000. It's 1/16 of a mile on the turf. The horse I like is the 9. All right, let's see what we got here. The 9 is inflation adjusted, right? Or maybe another favorite going out here. And listen, I hate to pick favorites all the time, but sometimes in curious races, the favorites win, right? Trainer Chad Brown, oh boy, everyone's going to be on him. 30% trainer stats for second after the layoff. Blinkers 21%, 29, 31 to 60 days. Last race, and then turf obviously 24, and route races 27%. Those are hard to compete against. He's going to get a lot of attraction, so it might not be the greatest bet of all time, but if he does stay at 3-1, I mean, if you're betting on Sundays on football, you'll take 1-1. Why wouldn't you take 3-1 at the track, right? Hard spun sire. The 9, a couple of quick things I'd like to say about the 9. That adding blinkers, so 22% adding blinkers, right? This is also, all the other horses here have a lot of other races. They're worn out horses. They're sort of, it looks like to me that, they've been around the game for a little bit. We're looking at a 3-year-old here who's got 3 races under his belt. Each race he's progressed and improved. The last race was a bit of an overshot, but I mean, his running line doesn't look all that great, but his speed figure improved. His track variant, speed figure and track variant improved. Going blinkers on. Chad Brown, Manny Franco, on his back. I think this horse wins outright. So. That's my second bet for the day. The third bet I'm going to go is a fun race. The third bet is race 8. And again, these aren't what we'll see on the weekends, the graded stakes races or anything along those lines. These are, this is a stakes race. It's tail of the cat. It's a 135K race, 7 furlongs on the main track, 1 turn. For 4-year-olds and up that have not won a graded stakes in this year, right? So that's the condition. So. We have some horses in here that we've seen, a lot, if you follow that you've seen. But I'm going to go with the 5. That's going to be Mr. Phil. And why do I like Mr. Phil? Mr. Phil, Kendrick Kamooch, 4 times at this distance. He's won twice. He's came in second twice. Mr. Speaker, Gelding. I'm looking at that last race. He's got the highest speed figures. He's robbed by Robert Atras. I think he's the sole speed. He's his last race. I looked at the last race, and I'm looking at it, and I'm saying, wow. 2 races ago, he ran a speed figure of 101. That's with a 90, buyer and a 14 variant. And so I looked at that, and then I looked at the second last race. He dropped to 81. It was quite a change. So he'd been progressing in his form, and then what happened there? So I looked at this race, and what do you know? You can see it in the line right there, and I'll point it out for you guys. But Jackie's Warrior, he ran against Jackie's Warrior. Jackie's Warrior, you can see it's in italics in the racing form. Just ran out last week and just slotted the field. He's one of the horses, a brilliant horse. One of the best in his generation, if not the best. So this horse here, Mr. Phil, went out against him from the 1 slot, stayed with him for it looked like half the race, and Jackie's Warrior just beat him into the ground, into submission. And you see this horse just faded. And, the closers came in. No one touched Jackie's Warrior. So he's not facing anything quite like Jackie's Warrior in this race. So I'm going to go with the 5, Mr. Phil, to, go on from the lead and take it straight out and to win. So those are my 3 picks. Again, it's the 5 in the second race with a little caveat, maybe the 6. So watch that. The 9 in the 5th race, and then the 5 here in the 8th race. So that's it for today, or for tomorrow. Well, for Wednesday's racing, and then I'll be back to you tonight with tomorrow's with Thursday's card. So I hope everyone's well. Look forward to talking to you again. If you like these, please like the video, follow, and please provide comments when possible. All right. I hope all well. Thanks. Bye.